in this scenario, we are talking about elevating our businesses, elevating the organizations that we work with and work for, and something that is very close to our heart as business owners, and that's called sales. And two things which are very core to today's time and the topic both are sales reviews, and second is the measurement. So when we are preparing for sales reviews and, as Sir has said, the audit of it, there are some very simple but very powerful points that I want to share with. And I know that there are who's and who's of the organizations and the business world in the session itself. So this session has a very, very simple line. It's called, we respect one another. That's the fundamental line of this session. So anything that is shared here is something that I know as a role I am sharing. But this is something that I've learned from my gurus, my mentors, my coaches, the people that I work with and work for. So just want to thank all of them for guiding me so that I can share something with all of you. And there are certain things that we agree or do not agree. That's not the point. A very important point here is that we agree to disagree, but the objective is our organizations must flourish. Our businesses must grow. And a very, very important point to add is that they must grow in sync with our values. And values are discovering what I firmly believe in, what I'm willing to struggle for. And that guides all of us. So it's like, if I can, very precisely tell you, it is all inside the culture that I'm talking about, the sales review and their measurements. So the first thing to share, a very simple thing to share, the first thing to share. I generally don't use the PowerPoint presentations. So many of you would be surprised by what I'm doing right now. But that's not the point. I just want to reach out to you. I hope you can visualize what I have shared. Just a person or two, if you can say yes or no. Can you see what I have shared?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, we can see that.
Thank you very much. So the first thing is, what's a review? And I think this point itself will open up several things for us. And whatever I'll share, I'll again repeat as just one objective called forwarding our businesses inside our culture and the values that we adhere to. So what's a review? So a review is a formal assessment of something. So a very important word here is review. Something which is viewed early. And something which is viewed and shared earlier, we are getting together to review it. दोबारा देखने को इकट्ठा हुए हैं. It's review. So the first and the foremost importance is we can only review what is communicated, conveyed specifically to people around. No surprises, nothing strange, nothing that has come just from nowhere. No, that's not the review. Review is something which is conveyed prior to the review. It is viewed by people all around. So the first word, which is very, very important, is review. The second, which is very, very critical, is called, it's a formal assessment. It's a formal one. And what I've observed throughout my life, corporate life of 31 years, that many a times the reviews are very informal. It's like, let's get together, or today I have time. And there is a cancellation of a meeting, let's do it. No, it's a formal assessment. So the word here important, it is formal. It is scheduled. It's clear, communicated. Another word, I think each word will open up several things for all of you, I guarantee. Because that's how it is prepared. So if you are already doing that, please tick mark them. That's endorsement. If you are not doing that way, please do it that way. It's all scientific. Another word is, it's an assessment. And you all know what assessment is all about. Assessment is an assessment. At the end of the assessment, there is a gap. And with each gap, there is a guidance. How to bridge the gap. If it's a loose talk of somebody who is in an authoritative position, and just judging what's going on, that's not the point of an assessment. And above all this, a review has a clear-cut intention of instituting change if necessary. And the change, the very word of change, may apply to the whole organization itself, to the process, if it's a sales review, to the process of sales, to the people who have designed the process of sales, to the people who are involved in the review, or anything that requires to be changed. But the very intention is to institute the change if necessary. That's very, very important. And when we have learned that, let's look at the word sales itself. I'll not show many PPTs, so don't worry. Very simple to initiate, then we'll talk. Because it's a Sangam talk. So we'll do that, right? So what is a sale? The exchange of a commodity और उसके आगे जो शब्द लिखा है, that's very important for money. If the exchange of commodity is not associated with money, it can be everything else, but not sales. So it's like if I ask somebody that what got accomplished as a sales target this week, if the answer is 60 lakhs, initial level review requires a question called, have we received 60 lakhs? If the answer is yes, then the sales is 60 lakhs. If the answer is what we have received is 12 lakhs, then the sales is 12 lakhs. Because it's an assessment. It requires assessment. As assessment, that's it. And numbers don't lie. So what is important is the exchange of a commodity for money, which is the action of selling something. Another definition, if we look at, give or hand over something in exchange of money. So the beauty of this definition is there nowhere in the world there is a definition of a sale which is not associated with money. So very important point, it's all in exchange of money. So when these things are clear, I would like to show a diagram that I've learned through, I'll share this with all of you. No need to take a photograph. It's anyways being recorded. Through Harvard Business Review, through my coaching, through neuroscience and marketing from IIM Ahmedabad, and some experiences that I have while I work. And a very important point to look at. So the whole process of today's talk is all about these points. So before I move to this diagram, I would request you to jot down a few things that you will include in your reviews if you are already taking them. And I'll guide you to include those things through some answers or questions. Your answers, my questions. So the first question, are your sales reviews scheduled?
Yes, sir.
Number one, slowly, I'll move slowly. Number two, is everyone informed about the template of the review? And when I say informed, if you need please explain the terminology to them of the template of the review. Third, are we clear about who is involved in the sales review? Depending upon the size of the organization, I'm just saying the size of the organization, but the functions will still remain the same. A salesperson is normally involved. If you want to bifurcate this, you are welcome to write this down. A salesperson is involved or generally concerned about customer targeting and execution. A sales manager with geographical deployment, performance management, and coaching. And a sales leader with sales process design, the structure and size, and the hiring. This is the normal pattern of the sales team. And from there, have we conveyed who is going to remain present in the review meetings? The duration of the reviews. In my experience, there are many organizations where reviews are 15 minutes, sales reviews 15 minutes. And there are 8 people present there. And if it's a standard sales review with everybody's activities involved, in the diagram itself, there are 9 points to cover. So I understand that you understand what I'm addressing, is that the time span must be adequate enough to discuss certain things in depth. And the discussion has an intention, the way I shared in the beginning, of, if required, changing what is required to be changed. And if it is required to change, you understand as business owners the amount of time required for reviews. It may vary from organization to organization. But my request is that you design it for your organization. Now, a very important thing to address. Is it really formal? Or it is something ki chalo jaake aao. If it has to be formal, there are 3 things that, in my view, will enrich the review itself. I call it prior preparation. If it's really formal, I would request, these are very basic but very, very important aspects of the topic that we are out to address. 1, have you shared and made sure that people in the review meetings are ready with the previous meeting notes? इससे पहले जो मीटिंग हुआ उसके बारे में लोग तैयार होके आए हैं या नहीं? not just sharing, please make sure. That's where it is formal. Number two, which, it's like, I love, having this. Is everyone aware about the relevance of the data to be shared for this meeting? And I'm using a very, very specific word called the data relevant to the meeting. And the third, if there is something that has just erupted between the prior meeting and this meeting, please keep them informed in advance. That's where it is formal. And now let's look at the diagram here. You can start from everywhere. These are no sequences. Salespeople and their activities in general. The way I start is culture, then performance management and goal setting. I'm reading what you can read, but I have a specific objective about it. For it also. Incentive compensation, data tools and customer targeting, training, hiring, sales manager, sales management and coaching, structure, size and geographic deployment, and sales process. Why did I have sales process in the end? Is like the new world of sales has already started emerging in place, and many of us are even practicing it. So the world of sales process is already an old world or the shaken world. So I use them, at the last. And whatever we have experienced for the last 4.5 years now, is that when a culture is set for people in sales, the chances, the possibilities of company winning is very, very, very high. So I have a request. Please consider, and I respect your decision. If you have it, that's wonderful. I respect it. If you don't have it, then there is a request. In every review, not just sales review, please include the formal assessment of the culture of the organization. Whether every team member is following, is adhering, is aligned, is in sync with the company culture or not. That's very, very important. It's not about performance at any cost. That's not the point. That's a request. If you can please include. If you don't want to, I respect it. Now let's think about some important aspects. With the whole salespeople and their activities in front of all of you, I speak for a few minutes. You can view this, think through this. If you have started thinking about your salespeople and their activities, wonderful. But my request is it's there on the screen. I just want to address a few things because a review depends on all these things together. So let me start with number one. I'll just address one by one. In my view, and this is purely my view and some learnings, but I would address it as one of us because the name is Sangam and I can never be out of the Sangam. So that's where I'm sharing my view. And one thing is, the world of business has started moving from the seller's world to the buyer's world. It's a buyer's world now. And when we are out to review sales, you may sense what I'm saying as something which is sudden, but it is a request from me that when you are out to review the sales world, the sales teams, the sales review itself, please include the buyer's world also. I will just frame one question for you so that all of you will start thinking in the directions. One of the questions that you may ask one of the persons in the review meet is, for example, he is a salesperson. And one of the primary responsibilities he has is customer targeting. And a question that can be framed is like this: which kind of customers do you find difficult to interact with? I hope you got the question. And that question involves several things. And I respect the way you think about the question, but it has both the worlds included. The world of our company, the salesperson himself or herself, and the buyer that they target. So the framing of the question is equally important. And that's where I said number one is the world now is a buyer's world. Please keep in mind. The second thing, I'll slowly, elaborate what I want to convey to you. Is the customer today are better informed. They use multiple channels and diverse information sources. I'll repeat. The customers today are better informed, use multiple channels and diverse information sources. So when we are out to review sales, the tools that we use, the processes that we have designed for sales, and the decision methods that we use for sales, the sales review requires that we address all three of them. About the tools of the sales, about the processes of the sales, and about the decision methods of the sales. That's the second point. And the third is that in my observation, in my experience, the sales review has one more purpose, which is a normal thing to happen. Nothing wrong there. But if it wants to expedite or provide velocity to the sales of our organization, I always use this as an example. There's that for the person who is managing the review meet, that person is like a choreographer. That person provides enough inputs, a lot of preparation, a lot of it. The dancers will make the performance look easy, and nobody can see the enormous efforts behind the scene, what the choreographer and the whole group has provided. So every company wants that the sales must be smooth. The salesperson must flourish. The outside branch of our organization must be functioning with a lot of ease and grace. But a very important point is that the enormous efforts behind the scene are the review meets. And on a lighter note, but a very significant point, consider a choreographer only reprimanding the dancer, only beating the dancer. Why did you take that step wrong? How come the target was 20 and you are 12 right now? Please think about it and get your dance step corrected. Please think about and get it into 20. When I am a choreographer, I don't tolerate this kind of mistakes. In my organization, I don't allow mediocre performances. Fine. Then who will guide the dancer? Then who will guide the sales force? If the review is not about guidance, then what is it about? If it is not about nurturing people to change if required, then what is it about? If it is not about assessment, on a lighter note, after 40 minutes, is like if I am there on a weighing scale, and if it is shows 92, it's 92. Is it bad? No. Is it good? No. It's 92. 92 is what? 92. It's neither more nor less. It's 92. And it's okay if I get on a weighing scale with an expectation of 88. The weighing scale has no agreement to show me 88. And if I go on scolding the weighing scale, how come 92? And the answer still is, it's 92. If I accept it, it's 92. If I don't accept it, it's 92. If I like it, it's 92. If I don't like it, it's 92. If I expect it, it's 92. If I don't expect it, it's 92. It should not have happened, it's 92. It should have happened, it's 92. I knew, it's 92. I never expect this from you, Nandak, it's still 92. Review is all about 92. It's a formal assessment. And what can I do about that 92 now? Is the sales review all about? What do I need to do as an organization? What do we need to do as a team? That's the whole review all about. And you know what we do? We take an example of a larger organization's template of a review and then try to copy or fix it in our organization. It doesn't work. It's my organization's culture. How can a sales review or any review can be copied from any template? That template is designed from a different culture. I'll give you a classic example of what happened to me when I was leading a program. One program, I would not, stretch the story. The point is different, but the point is the same. I'll talk about the culture. So I was coaching some people from USA about one of the aspects. And, there was a coach of mine on the call. So I was a coachee and the coach at the same time. And, my coach requested me to give my formal introduction. The way Nandak Sir told me, it's like Nandak is everything else, but not a motivational speaker. He means business, that's it. That's what he told about me. And I gracefully accepted. And my coach told me to introduce myself. And, I did whatever I knew about introducing myself. And at the end of the introduction, she said, no, but it doesn't inspire me as an individual to learn from you. It doesn't inspire that I must connect with you. And there were several other things, but I'm telling you just one, because, I respect your time, my time, and I would not stretch this point beyond the point. So, in a nutshell, I told her that I got my mother, my wife, my daughter, and I, and we live in the same home. And she said, for USA, this is wow. And I said, I lived in a 2 BHK. And I said, and she asked me, where does your daughter sleep? And I said, she sleeps with us. And she said, no, don't tell me. And I said, yes. I remember this vividly because just a day before, I saw the small clip of Wagle Ki Dunya. And there was a, point about a child wants to sleep between her parents. Think about it. A US company designing a template with its culture would be very different from an Indian company designing its own culture. How different the template would be if the cultural differences are so diverse. We accept differences, no doubt about it. But we must accept those differences. Yes or no? Consider a template of a 5,000 employee company and consider a template of a 50 employee company. Would they be different? Completely different. No point in taking that template and starting a review. I'm joking, but I'm actually sharing that we are actually driving our employees to their companies, to those large companies, that if we cannot include 70 points of a review, there is some other company which is taking those 70 points in a review. We are a smaller company. Don't convey that message to your own people. It is detrimental. It doesn't fit in our culture. It damages. It's a disguise. And one of my coaches has taught me that disguise takes much more efforts than being original. बहरूपियों को ज्यादा समय लगता है मेकअप करने में. ओरिजिनल तो ऐसा यूं करके निकल गए फाट. Because this is how I am and this is how I am not, period. So my request is, have your original template. And to prepare that template, I have given you the basics of all of it. And now you've got 9 points on the screen to think through. If you think that the way I think is culture is very critical, and the salespeople who are outside my organization, I always call it an organization outside my organization. If you want your salespeople to carry the culture outside, not just the uniform, not just the badge, not just the iCard, the culture. If they are the real representatives of our organization. Are you getting my point, sir? Yes, no. Are you getting are you getting what I'm saying? If they are the real representatives, they represent our organization. I think culture is important. And it solves a few questions for all of us. This is my journey and I'm sharing. So the first thing to get, and I'm just, it's like all 9 points I'll cover one by one, and you will have enough to write, to design. That's my promise to you. But one thing I want to tell you, that many people have a question, and before we go into measurement and the review points, I want to address this because it's a cultural point, so I'll address it. If I prepare my team to represent the culture of my organization, then one normal fear people have is that should we share data with our sales force? Will not they run away with the data of the organization? What if that sales guy starts his or a sales girl or the sales guy starts his or her own parallel competitive organization with the data that they have? These are the questions. In Hindi, अगर वो चोरी करके ले गए तो क्या होगा? उन्होंने उस डेटा से खुद का अपना धंधा शुरू कर दिया तो क्या होगा? सब कुछ बताना जरूरी थोड़ी है. These questions come because the salesperson, इसको आराम से सुनना, listen to this line very, very powerfully. The salesperson presents himself or herself. There is an individual branding there. But if, सुन लीजिए, but if they represent the culture of the organization, there is nothing to be scared about. If they represent the organization, nothing to think beyond the point. If they represent the organization, the customer knows the organization, not an individual. Do you get what I'm sharing? Sir, yes or no? And a very important point to address is culture. If they carry the culture, there is nothing to be scared about. The customers will use a line. आपके वहां वो जो काम करता था या ना करती थी ना, उसका कॉल आया था. That person called for business and he said, हाँ आप वहां काम करते थे ना, you used to work there, but I have faith in the organization. मुझे organization में विश्वास है. What will they do with the data? Are you getting my request? Yes, no? This is so important. Thank you. Thank you for the consistent feedback. And that's where the sales review requires, or for that matter, every review requires the emphasis on culture. And normally, with all due respect, nothing to offend, what I have observed is the sales reviews contain only numbers, numbers and numbers. That content is really required. But if that content is shared inside of a context, inside of a culture, inside of the values, that matters. Are you with me, sir? And that's where I have a few points to address one by one. Then at the end of the, just want to ask, sir, do we include question answer in the session itself?
Sir, what I suggest is if they have questions, then people can write in the chat and we will take it one by one. because
the
if,
end of it, right?
yes, because we have a very large audience. So maybe if everyone starts unmuting and speaking, then it will be a lot of chaos. So let them write questions in the chat, and then you can take questions.
So we'll take questions at 5:15.
Done, sir.
All right,
Perfect.
sir. So in Limesh sir's language, it is 4:56 right now, and you can send your questions till 5:14. We'll have 1 minute to include those questions, and then we'll respond it to them. Sir, पूरा copy मारा है. It doesn't work for me the way I said. मेरा original नहीं है, but it gives me the gist of being sourced by you, being a resource there. I respect the way you communicate. To start with, some very important point. One, very, very simple to start with. मैं आपके रिव्यू के पॉइंट्स बोलने जा रहा हूं एक एक करके. If you want to write down, please do that. Number one, create the objective of the review meetings all the time, and that may vary. Without the objective, the review meetings are just meetings. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes or no? And if you just think through, normally all the review meetings have an objective, but it is never shared in advance. With me, yes, no? Think about a review whose objective is shared in advance. People involved will start thinking from that objective. Do you get what I'm sharing? They are crystal clear about what's going to happen in the review meeting. They are ready with their views, and they know a very important thing. This is my observation. And then they are never scared about the retaliations, about arguments, about being offended, about being unduly questioned. They are clear about the objective of the review meeting. First thing clear? If you can shake, nod your heads, nothing like it. Yeah. The objective of the review meeting. And my request is, it must be a positive event. What does it mean, you know? If it's a positive event, people invited would love to attend. Why am I saying this? That normally the review meetings are scary. There is a gossip that goes around कि आज तेरा नंबर लगने वाला है या आज मेरा नंबर लगने वाला है. It must be a positive event. People who are connected with me for years would be surprised that Nandak used the word must, which is a very rare thing that I do. But this is the only must that I'm using, because a review meet must be a positive event where people would love to attend. Number two, small things to share, right? Number two, please include what went well individually. आप बहुत सारे लिख रहे हो इसलिए मैं स्लो बोल रहा हूं. ये स्पीड ठीक है ना पॉइंट्स के बारे में? A few thumbs ups or notes will work. जिस गति से जा रहा हूं, the velocity with which I am moving is fine. Thank you. I appreciate now. Thank you. Because what I think, and the kind of respect that we have for one another is like recording is fine, but what we are doing is conversation. So the second point is, please include what went well individually. When each one shares, those who are there in the review meetings, what went well, there is an opportunity for the person who is leading the review meeting. Which is that opportunity? Why am I addressing this? It's a great opportunity to elevate the level of enthusiasm. That's what I'm saying. The first thing is when each employee shares. All right, so what I am considering right now, that people on the call are the people who will conduct the review meetings. Am I appropriate? Say yes or no. Thank you. Okay, good, wonderful. So what I'll do is I'll address it as you or we. Okay. So what we have as an opportunity is when each person shares about what went well, we can have two things to address in one-on-one conversation in front of the whole group. One is, if there is a specific historical, noteworthy accomplishment, please address that. Clear? I request a few minutes of noting, yes, thumbs up, whatever it is, so that we move with each point together. Thank you. And the second opportunity is, this is equally critical, associate that individual skill set with that accomplishment. Does anyone want this to be translated in Hindi? Please raise your hands. Okay, then it's smooth. Okay. I'll repeat. When each individual is sharing what went well, we have an opportunity to address the noteworthy accomplishment that that individual created in that sharing. Clear? And the skill set associated with that. The next thing can be, and you may fine tune the way your team is. But these are very important and general points to address, and the opportunities it brings forth. What needs improvement? If that is the way the question is framed, what do you think needs improvement? If that's the question, we have an opportunity to address three things the way I shared in the beginning. One is the tools that we use for sales. Can you connect? Yes or no? The tools that we use for sales. Number two, the processes that we use for sales. And number three, the decision methods that we use for sales. So if the question is what needs improvement, it has 3 layers. So in the beginning, you may ask, do you think we need to change any tools? Do you think we need to change the sales process? Do you think we need to change the decision methods that we adopt? And slowly and steadily, the moment you ask a question, what needs improvement, they know it has 3 layers. In the beginning, it may seem that, it's a lengthy process and ek ke saath 3 sawal aa rahe. No, it's like creating the environment. Are you getting the choreographer of it? Yes or no? The choreography of it. Are you getting what I'm saying? And they'll perform for sure, 100%. They have been performing and they will perform. Clear? Yahan tak clear? Shall I move ahead? Forward? Okay, good. 4th, what do you learn from what you did? And how will you use your learning in your day-to-day sales responsibility? ये जो हुआ और आप उसमें से जो सीखे, आप जो सीखे उसका उपयोग डे टू डे सेल्स प्रोसेसेस में या जिम्मेदारी में कैसे करोगे? And this is where our role is very critical. This phase of review requires a lot of generosity because this includes a lot of change. The change in approach, the change in learning, the change in behavior, the change in attitude. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes, no? I'll give you a simple example. If a salesperson tells us that I lost my composure during that meeting, so what did you learn? And that person said, I would keep my composure from the next time. Do you think that in that 1 minute, everything will change? It requires a lot of generosity, a lot of guidance, a lot of nurturing, a lot of support. And if your organization has a culture of learning and development, the way the word used there in one of the 9 aspects is training, coaching. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes, no? Then we have enough need analysis for the training and development, learning and development, or the training of our own teams. Are you getting what I'm saying? We don't need any separate training surveys and gap analysis and need analysis. Our own review meetings with sales is mostly more than enough to guide us. These are the additional advantages, but I'm managing time, so I'm addressing it one by one. The next point, and I'll end at dot 5:15 is turn the sharing of what into the sharing of why. I'll repeat. Turn the sharing of what into the sharing of why. Because in review meetings, the more the why, the better it is. Because what can be conveyed even before the review meetings? Do you understand what I'm saying? Anything which is what can be conveyed even before the review meeting. But if that what is connected with a why during the meeting, it's very meaningful and relevant. And then two very important things to address. One, these are the last 2 points. One is fine-tune the plan for improvement is if required. Fine-tune the plan for improvement if required. और यहां मैं बड़ा important line add कर रहा हूं. And this is where I am adding an important line with the resources available for improvement. Don't leave that person unattended or unsupported. मुझे मेरे हाल पे छोड़ दो वैसा नहीं वो पुराना गाना. Don't sing that song. मुझे तुमसे कुछ भी न चाहिए नहीं, ये वो ऐसा गाना नहीं है. The salesperson needs a lot of support. If we want improvement, mean improvement. If it requires the data to be shared, please share the data. How can you have your soldier without arms? There are many people, across the globe who think that we are not required to share the data with the sales team. And the last line is called, if you are thinking as a team, please manage the spirit of being a team. If we don't manage the spirit of being the team, what's the point of reviewing together? We are reviewing as a team, yes or no? Then review as a team. Improve as a team. And accomplish as a team. And I wish accomplishments to each one of us on the call. Just want to thank NJ for providing us a platform where we can share each other views, ask questions. Salim sir and the NJ team, thank you. We can use the 15 minutes now for the question answer. And if we don't have enough of them, I'll cause some important points. And we'll conclude dot at 5:30.
We have 3 questions.
Yes, please.
One from Mr. Hiren is aligning the culture with sales activities will help to achieve sales targets? Because everything is around the target.
Around the target? No, sir.
No, that he has not written. That last three words I added from my side.
That's okay.
His question is aligning culture with sales activities, will it help in achieving sales target?
I understand. Just a moment, sir. मैं वो एक वीडियो ढूंढ रहा हूँ, एक 10 सेकंड देना, only 10 seconds.
Okay, you search while I will share some
No,
info.
sir, nothing to search is there. Just wait. I'll respond. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. आ गया, मिल गया. सर वरना बोलता ही नहीं ना. Sales target and sports activities. Employee engagement. Employee engagement, मैं उस टॉपिक में नहीं आना चाहता, सीधा सवाल का जवाब इन अ गिवन टाइम. मैं वीडियो बजा रहा हूं. आई होप ये स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है.
Yes, visible.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. सो जो इंग्लिश समझते हैं उनके लिए बोलना जरूरी नहीं है, और जो इंग्लिश नहीं समझते वो कॉल पे नहीं है. सो आई प्ले द वीडियो. So one line to share. When you achieve the target, medal, recognition plus experience. When you don't achieve the target, what you get is learning plus experience. So my request is you can always connect sports with targets. But my request is also understand a very famous line that I have read and learned, that all the medals are won while practicing. They are only expressed in the race itself. So all the targets are normally achieved in the review meets. They are only expressed when they are with customers. बड़ी सिंपल भाषा में बोलूं, अगर मैं मैच प्रैक्टिस के दरमियान, नेट प्रैक्टिस के दरमियान छक्के नहीं लगा सकता, तो मैच के दरमियान लगाने के चांसेस बहुत कम है. So thank you for the question. I hope I have addressed your query. Thank you for taking it to a different dimension, horizon, and level. Thank you, sir.
Sir, we have one more question. What's most critical in monitoring a remote system?
Sir, नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है.
Okay, am I audible now clearly?
Yes, sir.
What is the most critical in monitoring a remote sales team where you do not quite know the quality of information being shared?
सवाल अलग है, मैं जवाब अलग देता हूं. Two things. One is the way we groom in our culture, and I'll use a Sanskrit word for it. जिस तरह से हम उस टीम को संस्कार देते हैं. And number one, the learning and development process with trust. मैं एक लाइन और ऐड कर देता हूं. ये शायद पूरा डायमेंशन बदल देगा और जवाब बड़े अच्छे से मिल जाएगा. How do we monitor children, our children, outside our homes? And the answer is never monitor them. Because we trust our sanskar. We trust the learning and development that happens in the family. The same happens with our team. Thank you, sir. I hope this will convey everything.
Yes, sir. Very right.
Thank you.
And anyone having any more question? Or I have a few things to share with all of you. So whatever we discussed today, if you are already using Sangam CRM, then it is designed for this kind of reviews. Okay, where you get to know the what part from OPR dashboard.
सर पूरा आपका वीडियो रुक गया है सर. Sir, are you experiencing the same issue? Say yes, no. Okay, कोई बात नहीं. Let's use the time. सर जब तक बात कर रहे हैं मैं बात कर लेता हूं. 3 चीजें थोड़ी ध्यान रखनी है जब आप कल्चर के बारे में पूछा. जब ये जो सवाल आए उसमें मैं आपके साथ 3 बात शेयर करना चाहता हूं. रिव्यूज का सर इफ यू आर अवेलेबल बोलना. पूरा वीडियो ऑडियो सब रुक गया था इसलिए मैं एड्रेस कर रहा हूं.
Okay.
Available now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think now I'm audible clearly.
Clearly. नहीं आवाज थोड़ा ब्रेक हो गया है. तो मैंने
Is it
शुरू
still
कर दिया है,
breaking?
तो 3 शब्द बोल दूं सर. 3 words.
Please. Yeah.
One is maintain fairness. If the reviews are not fair, people are pissed off. Number 2, make people understand the rating system. And number 3, suggest improvement in concrete terms, not just vague ones. Suggest improvements in concrete terms, measurable. Sir, all yours. 30 सेकंड में इतना ही शेयर करना था. Please go ahead.
Okay, so if you are using Sangam CRM, it has been designed for this kind of reviews where you can have very effective reviews. So what part is already known to all the team members? And regarding the question of the last question which was asked, right, where Surendra Sharma ji had asked question, whether you are sure about the data being shared. So if you are using Sangam CRM dashboard rightly, you will be 100% sure about the data being shared. Remember that the design concepts team में एक chartered accountant भी है, तो audit करना तो बहुत अच्छा आता है. So there things will not fail. Another thing I want to share with all of you is that we have started a video series where we are sharing 2 videos every week. And these videos are available on LinkedIn and YouTube and also Facebook. And we will also be sharing these videos with you. So these are very small videos, 5 to 6 minutes, but it will convey one important topic to you. And first of all, why do we make videos? These are not marketing videos. These are videos purely meant to address the questions that we get from you. So we make video only when we receive same question again and again and again and again. So this week, 2 videos were released. First is the difference between dashboard and reporting. And second is why should managers or bosses or team leaders know how to create and read reports. Analyzing is a difficult thing. And surprisingly, many international people have also commented on that post. So you can have a look at it on my LinkedIn profile or go to our YouTube channel. And if you want to know more about the Sangam CRM Concept Talks, which are already done, you can search for Sangam CRM Concept Talk on Google. And the first link that you get there, you will get recording of all the previous sessions. And lastly, I want to ask you one question. What are the other topics that you would like us to take if we were to get Nandak Sir again? Okay. And what are the other topics that you want us to discuss in upcoming and forthcoming Sangam CRM talks? So that is question open to all. Any suggestions are welcome. So Mr. Naren has shared. See, I'll tell you the reason why Nandak Sir is laughing. We have been discussing this topic for last 2 days with all our partners, right? And so, yeah, we were also discussing that we should take this topic for our CRM customers. So definitely collection management and the perspective towards the new era of sales will be there one topic. And if all of you can also share, what is the one takeaway for you today? आज ऐसा क्या लगा जो आपको हाँ आज ये मिला करके, if you find anything which was taken today. So Satish ji had told about sales behavior, collection management. Yes, sir. Sales behavior also noted. Framing the right questions. Yes, Mr. Jena, thank you for your kind words. How to complete the deal, Karnav Patel. Importance of culture. Set clear expectations of review meeting. Okay, while everyone is sharing their questions or suggestions for the topic, I also want to share that we have started something known as CRM audit, and many of you have already done it. Somebody has done 2 audits, 3 audits. It's total of 5 audits. And if you are not aware about this or you're not yet started it, I request you to talk to our team and also visit a page on our website where you get linked or registering for the audits. Okay. And those who have already done few audits, if you would like to unmute and share your experience about audit, it will help others also. Because generally people think audit मतलब लिमेश आके कुछ मस्ती करेगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. So Vijay has asked how to conduct sales review meeting.
No, sir. What I mean is, people are sharing their single takeaway in this.
Okay. Yes. मैं भूल गया कि मैंने सवाल क्या पूछा था. Okay, any one of you want to share anything about today's meeting or about the review sessions that are being done?
नोट्स के अलावा कोई बोलना चाहता है? इफ यू वांट टू स्पीक अबाउट इट दैट्स
Yes.
वंडरफुल, प्लीज डू दैट.
Can I speak, sir? Gaurang Shah here.
Yes, Gaurang bhai, go ahead.
सर ने जो इतना बोला है उसमें एक चीज बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट लगी है कि एंटरप्रेन्योर होता है, दिल से मॉरली सही काम करने के लिए बहुत सोचता है और कल्चर पे फोकस करता है, बट ऑन द वे बीच में जब टारगेट, वैल्यूज, फिगर्स आते हैं ना, तो कल्चर को शायद एंटरप्रेन्योर खुद थोड़ा पीछे छोड़ देता है. तो यही चीज है जो इनके ऊपर इन्होंने स्ट्रेस दिया, तो मुझे लग रहा है कि वही चीज है जो हमको और आगे ले जाएगी. और लंबे रेस का घोड़ा बनना है तो शॉर्ट टर्म टारगेट्स की जगह कल्चर पे ज्यादा जोर देना पड़ेगा.
थैंक यू सर.
Yeah, without that things don't work.
एनीवन एल्स?
Many times people ask, how do you do review meetings in NJ? तो उसके पहले ये चीज समझना जरूरी है कि we need to work more on the culture part and other things will follow. 100% they follow. So I can tell you from my experience. Yes sir, आप कुछ बोल रहे थे.
Can I share something, Glimesh ji?
या सुहास सर एंड देन बीमल.
Yes sir, बोलिए ना.
Okay. I think one of the takeaways I've already put it on the chat box, which was about framing the right questions. Another thing that I really liked out of this session is maintaining the positive environment. I think many a times it's like hisab kitab lena. People should not get that kind of feeling that here we are and especially this happens with junior and mid level people where they really get off the block. I think you wonderfully explained how you can make people that they should love to attend the meeting. So I think by maintaining the positive culture, I think people will start loving the meeting. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सर. सुहास सर.
Yeah, good evening to us.
Good evening.
About audit, I would like to say something. As Limesh bhai said, it is not about any scolding, but it is about showing how to work around it and use CRM efficiently. Plus, your team starts getting involved in the work that they are doing. And the homework which is assigned, if it is done in time, it is a great add-on. And you really start working faster.
True, sir.
That is my experience. Limesh bhai, third audit मैं राह देख रहा हूँ. ये भी आपको बताना था. About today's meeting, I feel culture is because of the owner or the director, which really builds. I have seen number of companies with different kinds of owner and their nature really seeps into the organization as a culture. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Okay,
Yes,
friends.
sir.
So yes, thank you very much.
सर विजय
And
सर को
we'll
कुछ
see you
बोलना है.
all.
लास्ट पर्सन टू शेयर.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Please unmute and speak, sir.
Hello,
Yes, Vijay.
sir. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
यस सर.
आज का सेशन बहुत ही अच्छा, बहुत ही नॉलेजेबल था. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं अभी तक रिव्यू मीटिंग रिसीविंग एंड पे रिसीव करता था. अब मैं लगता है कि मैं एज ए कंडक्टर में रिव्यू मीटिंग अच्छी तरह से अटेंड कर पाऊंगा.
सर आप कौन सी कंपनी से हैं? विजय भाई.
व्यूटेक, अलिथरा व्यूटेक.
हाँ, तो ये ऑडिट वाला सेशन है ना सर, वो अलीद्रा के साथ भी करते हैं. यू विल हैव फैंटास्टिक एक्सपीरियंस.
आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
Sir, I was telling this CRM review meeting we will do with
हाँ.
Alitra also.
बहुत बढ़िया.
है ना. आप बात कर लीजिए टीम के साथ, फिर आगे मुझे बताइए।
Okay.
Then we will
Most welcome.
coordinate. Yes, sir.
Most
Bani
welcome, sir.
wants
Most
to
welcome.
share. Sir, please look at the time and allow people to share. जैसा आपको ठीक लगे, whatever works for us.
Yes, if anyone wants to allow share, then we can share.
There one hand raised from Bani, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, who wants to share? Please go ahead.
Yeah, Saras here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, one thing you said, Nandakji, that is all the target is achieved in review meet and they are only expressed at customer's place. So if you can, I understood, if you can say that line once again. Awesome line, and I feel it is the practice which makes the difference.
Sir, your generosity. All the games, all the medals are won in the practice field or in the net practice. Only they are expressed in the final race. Right,
Thank you,
sir?
thank you.
Yeah, always welcome.
It was an awesome session, sir. Absolutely
Yeah, thank you, sir.
fantastic.
Always welcome. Always welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dimeshji.
Yes, sir, thank you very much. Sir, you may conclude.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
Yes.
you, sir. Dinesh, sir.
Yeah, probably is
No,
We
internet
will
connection
meet
is
once
problem.
again next to next week, every alternate Saturdays, and we will definitely have more interesting sessions.
Yeah,
And we will again have Nandak Sir very soon.
yeah,
Okay.
always welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Stay safe and take care. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
लास्ट लाइन रह गया सर आज आपका।
हाँ?
बोला लास्ट लाइन रह गया आपका, नाश्ता बना हुआ रेडी नाश्ता।
मैंने कुछ दिनों से वो बोलना बंद कर दिया है।
अच्छा ऐसा है क्या?
चलो सर, बाय।
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you, sir.